Okay, so we got a comment on one of our YouTube videos.
Oh my god, did we
This
really?
is from a stranger. Yeah, I don't know who this guy is. Let's see, switch account. Gumshoe. Gumshoe. Our videos.
Which video is it on?
It's on the Chicken Gang React to Am I the Only One by Aaron. Aaron, what's his name? I want to.
Oh my god.
Did you see it? Did you see it?
Wow, man, that is not something I would even expect.
Yeah,
That's fucking crazy.
I wanted
honestly,
to do a deep dive on who the Backyard Bear, Aquatic Bear is. He's got 14 subscribers, and he takes videos of his fish tanks. So,
hold on. Let's
cool.
read it. Let's read his comment. You want to read it?
Yeah, let's read his comment. This will be: the Backyard Bear says, "I won't even dignify your reaction with a listen. I see your headline, and anyone, all caps, that has that opinion is part of the problem. Grow a set, learn what it means to be a man." This is the fish tank guy. Remember, this is the fish tank guy.
And I like he didn't like. First of all, the title of the video is just. I mean, like our subscribers.
Really
are obviously gonna know. But yeah, it just says "Gallon of Chicken." The Chicken Gang reacts to "Am I the Only One" by Aaron Lewis. It's actually really benign. And then, I guess in the description,
it could be positive or negative.
I guess in the description you did write "This song really sucks. You can watch it along by playing this video at the same time."
Yeah.
And you called it an abomination. So, I mean, I would say that like it's so funny, the hypocrisy. It's so funny. It's like, how are you gonna like come on someone's like art form and leave a comment like that? It's like, oh, these people pandered some art that I really like, so I'm gonna pander to or not pandered, but like these guys panned some art that I really like, so I'm gonna go on their thing and do the exact same thing, and then I'm gonna call them part of the problem. And it's like, okay, so
I think that like growing a pair and learn what it means to be a man
is projection.
Yeah, I just don't feel like that like really follows. Like, I don't get how this song, like liking this song, is what makes you a man. Is that what you're saying, or are you saying
I think that him saying "I see your headline" and anyone that has that opinion is part of the problem. I think that is something that he's like relating to the song.
Okay, so he's saying that you're one of those people that he's talking about in the song.
That makes us feel this way. And then then he's characterizing us as like liberals or leftists or something like that. And of course, those people don't have balls or are men.
That's what it is.
And so then he's tacking that part on. But I would say that last part is the least contentious thing of what he said. It's the first part that he's like,
I won't dignify your reaction with a listen, but I will dignify it with a comment.
Yeah, and
because like now you're on our radar. Backyard Bear.
I would also say that like I was pretty fair about this song. I don't think that I even said it was bad. I said
I was really harshly critical of it.
You were really harsh about it, but I was
just
like,
not a good song. Like even like from a musical standpoint, it's just like it's really simple, and the lyrics are just so dumb, and it's just I don't have the background. Like, attitude.
I don't have the background to comment on that part, but like I was impressed by how vague and ultra specific it was.
Exactly how well you could toe the line and like really dog whistle the people that.
Yes, I was astounded by that, because there's actually like a portion of people that if they like cause this is like obviously like you said, it's like almost dog whistling, like right wing talking points. But it's so like good at being vague that you could listen to it as like someone that's on the left, and like if you were just like into country music, you could also like adopt it as like a song that you like. So
like, I do say "what the hell" at my TV.
Yeah, exactly.
When I see Donald Trump come on.
So, like all in all, it's like not my type of music. I'm like not into like country, and like it's also like incredibly. I just don't like songs like this that are well. I guess it's subjective. Like there's some songs because like I just started listening to like. Do you listen to Rise Against?
Yeah.
Yeah, they have a new album out, and I was like
Oh
listening
shit.
to it
Okay.
like all weekend and stuff, and it's very they're very political, and all their songs are very political and very much commentary on like what's going on right now, and I like it. So I guess I can't say that I don't have like appreciation for songs like this, but this is
Keep
definitely
going.
like not. Yeah, this is definitely like just not in my wheelhouse. But like if I was going to say it's bad, it's all I would say that it is because it's not very creative. It's very like pandery, and it does it in a really like on the nose kind of way. Like one of the things that I do like about Rise Against, and like I could say this about their new songs and their album, is that they're a little bit more creative with their lyrics, and their lyrics are a little bit more maybe like subtle isn't the right word, because like if you listen to it, you're like, I know exactly what the fuck they're talking about, but like they're more metaphorical, and it resonates, I think, a little bit better in that way. And they actually had a song on the album that it basically talks about being really upset about like what's going on right now, but it specifically relates it to like the chorus kind of culminates in the point that we're all angry about everything right now because like no one on either side is doing like a good faith representation of us, and that we're all the same, and that we all feel disappointed and maligned right now along like political lines. And yeah, so but anyways, that's funny that this is like one of the comments that we got, and that it's this, and that it's so lacking self-awareness. And yeah, the backyard bear, aquatic bear, and then his profile picture is like a bear with a oh my god, you're right, it is like a guy that makes like videos of like his aquarium. Dude, I don't know if you can hear me right now, but like we should go on all his videos as Gallon Chicken and just leave really mean comments.
Okay, well, here's my take on this. I won't do. He says, "I see your headline, and anyone that has that opinion is part of the problem." And I just here's my question to you, Backyard Bear: what is the problem? Because if you listen to the words of the song and you take them at face value, then the problem is statues coming down in your hometown, or not enough people uh, wanting to defend the red, white, and blue, or something like that, or defend your freedom, or whatever it is. Is that the problem, or is it the underlying message, the
You're
underlying
just doing the
message?
counter monologue.
Yeah. So this it was weird how we timed this out, but what I was saying is like you're saying that anyone that has that opinion is part of the problem. But can you tell me what the problem is? Like,
Oh, so you want to know what I did? I went on like
Aaron Lewis is not saying what the problem is. He's not outright saying it. He might be covertly saying it.
yeah. So
And
you don't actually know.
yeah, so like if we
He's
don't
like the
know what the
problem is
problem
people
is,
who put pineapple on pizza.
yeah, is that what the problem is? Because like he doesn't exactly spell it
The
out.
problem is that they took Steve off of Blue's Clues.
Right. And if you wanna read the subtext of what he's
Hashtag
saying
not
in the
my
song,
Steve.
if you want to read the subtext of what he's saying in the song, and he's talking about the Confederate statues being torn down.
He's basically saying fuck Colin Kaepernick.
Yeah, basically. And he's saying
That Joe Biden stole the election.
right. the people that want to take down
Storm the
Confederate
Capitol.
statues and don't want to like glorify the racism that like almost divided our country. Uh, those are the people
Almost.
that are part of the problem, which is strange to me because I feel like the people that wanted to divide our country are part of the problem. Because like later in the song, he's talking about that nobody shares his love of the red, white, and blue, or something like that. And it's like,
Yeah.
I mean, do you share that? Then like, do you believe that like Confederate statues should stay up? Because it seems like those two views are at odds with each other. And finally, when he talks about if you don't like it, there's the fucking door. That's one of the lines in there. So I mean, who is that referring to? Is that referring to people who are citizens of this country, who see what's happening and want better, including people who supported Donald Trump in 2020, people who stormed the Capitol, those people that maybe didn't go about it the best way, but still wanted change. You telling them there's the fucking door? Or are you telling it to like?
Well, they all miss the point, right? It's like the reason that the fucking left is even targeting like Confederate statues is because they literally have no power to change anything in a meaningful way. And like we're all like that. Like even the right can't change anything in a meaningful way either. So they like protest against trans bathrooms and other weird shit that like the left is doing because again they have like no actual fucking locus of power. Like they can't get the politicians to do anything meaningful that will actually like make people's lives better. So they're all fucking like they're all dying on these stupid hills of like cultural fucking issues and shit that doesn't matter, and they're all getting down each other's throats about it. But anyway, I wanted to say I went on his videos as Gallon of Chicken, and I made some rude comments about his fish.
Oh, I really didn't want to do that. I really wanted to avoid that.
They're not like overtly rude. One is like one is like a video of like his fish like mating, and I put these fish look like they need to, and then I put the quote of him saying, "Grow some balls and be." It's just shit like that. It's all pretty.
Which video was it?
So he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He's got 11 videos.
Babies.
It's 1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh my
it's
god,
like
you watched all his videos.
It's like the first 5 videos. Yeah, I gave them all a view, but you know, I also gave them all. It's like the first 5.
You gave him all.
Oh yeah, the first video is like his cat trying to catch a bird, and his cat's name is Scooter, and I said Scooter couldn't catch a bird if it came out of a cuckoo clock.
Yeah.
Just stupid shit like that.
Okay, well, none of it's really mean spirited.
No. I'm not a monster. I just wanted to come in and troll him because he's a fucking idiot.
Yeah, I mean, listen, again, and my reaction. This was my comment to his comment. I said, "You seem like the kind of guy that likes Born in the USA, but doesn't really know what the lyrics are about." So it's just the kind of person that is really patriotic, but like that accepts like the status quo, and
yes,
takes everything at face value. Like, are you taking this?
Yeah, I don't
this song at face value because it doesn't mean anything at face value. I don't
understand those people that like it's like criticizing your country is like unpatriotic, and it's like your country can go to shit. A lot of countries do.
Right.
And it's people like this that like stand in the way of them getting fixed, because rather than they congeal around the idealism of like voting.
Yeah.
That's like really what it is most of the time.
Well, I think these people need to take a long look at their own life and say, like, is there any way that the government could like help me improve my life or be better and work for me?
Well, yeah, but the thing is that they think that it can be, and then they got their guy in, and then the Democrats like held him at gunpoint basically and made it so he couldn't make America great again. So like it's
Yeah.
all like self-actualized, and it's just like a constant loop of like victim mentality, and it
Right,
just
it's
keeps
victim
them in that
mentality and it's
stasis.
scapegoating because like a
Yeah,
lot of people want him to drain the swamp, and the
yeah, and
QAnon
he didn't
people
even
believe
try or
that.
any of that
Yeah,
shit.
I mean, he if
But
anything, he
they'll look
killed us.
past
He
it.
put more swamp people
Yeah, he
in.
put more swamp. Yeah,
Yeah, he expanded the swamp.
his fucking slogan should have been "Swamp Squared."
Oh man, but yeah, and yeah, so the scapegoating thing is like a major part of that type of politics, the make America great again, because it's like in the government we want to get rid of like people like Nancy Pelosi and AOC and all those people for no,
Yeah,
good reason. I mean, like, I don't think there's a lot of even liberals that trust Nancy Pelosi. I mean,
no,
it's obvious to everyone that she's like a really
she's a piece of
corporatist,
shit.
yeah, really corporatist Democrat who
Yeah.
takes money from
Oh yeah,
who
she is
God
like
knows
a
who and doesn't serve the interests of her constituents.
she
Sure.
is a she is a detriment to the things that are currently going on.
Yeah, and has enough like influence to like actually change things for the better, or at least set that emotion, but does nothing
Sure,
with it.
yeah, but there's nothing. Yeah. Well,
Um,
it's not. Yeah, it's not in her interest.
right. And then outside of the government, they tend to scapegoat either immigrants for taking their jobs or Black Lives Matter for upsetting the status quo.
Sure.
For which is like I don't know what's so bad about not wanting to be killed by cops. I don't have a problem with that platform. Like if that's and like somebody burned down an AutoZone, and that's why they're really the enemy of the people. That's why they're really terrorists, is because somebody burned down an AutoZone.
um,
Don't
you know,
worry
I
about January 6th. And
the,
finally, they're scapegoating anybody that wants to like change things. Anyway, what were you saying?
oh, I was gonna say this is kind of why I like resort to like political nihilism, or just like I just don't have the will or interest to participate anymore, because like I don't really see like what you do at this point to like get things to meaningfully change. Like the 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 machine, the political machine, if you will, like has such a good grasp on like making people think emotionally and irrationally, that like people can't seem to coalesce around the one thing, which should be that we should ask better, and we should ask our representatives to like actually represent people. And you know what, we could actually go a step under like representation, just like start prosecuting people that break the fucking law. Like how about that? Like that's like it's something that I feel like doesn't really get talked about. It like kind of does, but then people just get distracted by like things that are more like emotionally resonant. But like our justice system like does not function the way that it's supposed to. That is like
Yeah,
a
I mean
huge
there are
failing.
some criminals that get prosecuted, but it's like
Yeah, but like
disproportionately
not the
affecting like
corporate ones. Like
yeah,
the
exactly.
corporate ones just get to like run rampant and do all this stuff that is really like to no one's benefit other
Other
than their
than
own
yeah,
and their bottom line and stuff like that, and it allows them to like propagate all this fucking like just stupid shit, like the money that goes into all these other things, and so everything's constantly getting funded by like people that have like nefarious intent and all this stuff. So yeah, and so anyways, the media and the machine is all just behind this, and it just does a really good job of keeping people like in opposing camps and ideologies. And we know that that's happening because we know that algorithms respond better to like anger and stuff like that, and outrage, and it's all moving towards more algorithmic processing and stuff. Like nobody's out there like sorting comments by hand or whatever. Like YouTube isn't like it's not a guy like on YouTube like looking through your fucking history and like making recommendations. It's a
right.
fucking algorithm is doing that. And same with like Facebook and Twitter and all that other shit. So it really like one begets the other. And it's to go back to like the rot analogy, if I've used it before or whatever, but it's like when shit is rotted, you can't just replace it. You have to you can't fix rot. You have to replace it. You have to like tear everything out and you have to like rebuild it. So that's kind of like where we're at, is just things are like completely rotted, and it's going to take more than like moving a couple politicians around and stuff like that. I'm not saying that that shit doesn't help. It does kind of, but it's not going to get us like the kind of like meteoric change that like we actually need to see happen. And there's like so many like ticking clocks and shit. And you know, the most obvious one is like climate change and stuff like that. And you know, we probably will be dead before like that shit gets like completely untenable, but like I imagine that we're gonna live through like the first couple like years of it, and it's gonna be miserable. And by first couple of years, I mean like we'll probably live through the first like 20 years of like the planet getting like really untenably hot, and people like migrating, and you know the start of like the early stages of like water wars and like weird shit like that. And yeah, and that shit depresses. This shit really depresses me. Like thinking about this shit, and that's why I kind of like disengage as well. Because I'm like, well, no matter like which way you like look at it, and if you really try and like rationalize these things, it's like it doesn't go anywhere. It just all goes shitty. It's like even people like Noam Chomsky, right? He's like, you gotta vote for Joe Biden, and it's like, no, you know, but like that's it's not gonna get us like where we need to be in the time that we need to get there. Like I get the appeal, and I get the like, you know, this is all we have, and so you have to do, but it's like I'm tired of like the this is all we have fucking line. It's like, well, if this is all we have, then like we might as well just like resign ourselves to this fucking fate. Because this being all we have is not going to get us like out of this fucking morass.
I think the last thing I want to say about Backyard Bear, and this is not this is and I'm gonna edit out everything you just said because it was like a crazy tangent.
That's fine.
So Backyard Bear says, I suffer from MTS, which I assume is a chronic condition, which is unfortunate. But I wonder if
where does it say that?
What?
Where does
this
it
is
say
in
that?
the about section. I just wonder if
what is MTS?
You feel like the health
Microsoft Transaction Server.
Yeah.
What does MTS say? Mesial temporal sclerosis. Okay.
My point is that do you feel like the healthcare system in America could be improved? And I don't even know if you live in America. I'm assuming you do because you saw the American flag and you like the song that we didn't like. So my point is, do you think that the healthcare system in America could be improved? Do you think that the government could improve it? And further than that, do you feel like the government owes it to us to do so? Because we're paying so much in taxes and we have very little accountability for where that money's going. There's so much waste in the bureaucracy of our government. And if you look at how the budget is divided, it's actually an outrage how much more defense gets than education or healthcare. So I'm just, that goes back to my point. It's like, look at your life and how can the government improve your life? What can they do to improve your life? Because that's what the government is for. And why aren't they doing it now? And why aren't you upset that they're not doing it? Why don't you feel like things should change? And that's where we're coming from, and that's why we don't like this song. Is because it's just about the social, the culture wars, and everything that really means nothing. It just serves as a distraction from the real things that divide us, which are healthcare, economic, fucking crazy economic shit that's going on right now.
Yeah, like economic and like income security.
Yeah, economic and income security. So, so beyond being a bad song, I just hate it because it's just propagating the useless nonsense. It's like just more fucking noise, like all the talking heads on TV, and now there's a song that is the same thing.
I'm sure that there's like a song that's as egregious written by someone on the left.
Yeah, I'm sure there is. I haven't found it yet, and if I do, we'll make a gallon of chicken reaction to it.
I imagine that he would say that like he doesn't want the government to like give us stuff, and that like humans or Americans should have the
Pull
means
themselves
to
up by their bootstraps.
yeah, will take care of themselves. Yeah, and that they shouldn't have to like rely on the government. And I'm not saying that that's a good argument. It's more of like it's more of like deflection than anything. Like it kind of like like in this like fictitious world that they've created where they're also suffering from MTS, but at the same time they're paying for like adequate healthcare that doesn't make that like a huge detriment to their life.
Yeah, I mean, I don't
But-
want to put words in Backyard Bear's mouth about it. I mean,
well, this is
I'm giving
definitely
him
what
a chance
I
to
say.
respond. So if you want to respond by a comment or make a fish video where there's a commentary over it with your opinion, I'm happy to watch it and we can keep this going because, like, I really enjoy this kind of banter and debate. Um, but yeah, I mean, even if you do believe that it's not a problem for you in your life, do you think that living in part of a society means that, like, and having to pay taxes means that the things that the government provides should be equal for everyone?
Well,
And
the other thing that you
also,
mentioned. Sorry, I don't want to interrupt. Go ahead.
don't you think the healthcare system, even the private sector of the healthcare system, is like out of control? I mean, maybe you're paying for affordable healthcare, maybe it's not affordable to you, but either way, I mean, if you look at the cost of the individual procedures and the services that hospitals provide, it's completely out of control as a result of private insurance companies. And the private insurance companies know that you have two options as an individual or a family. It's have health care and pay whatever it takes to have it, or die, or just not get health care. So, I see that as a major problem, especially like it poses the idea that the free market will prevail and give us the best prices, because if it's something that you need to have, then it doesn't have to work in your favor. The free market will drive the prices up to see as each company sees how much they can get away with charging people, while still providing something that is an absolute necessity for you. Yeah, so that's my take on it. What were you gonna say?
Oh, I was gonna like phrase like you've said a couple things that like like you could easily like derive like what arguments that they would make against like the points that you're bringing up. Like you mentioned that like we spend like a ton on defense, and that is kind of like a tricky thing to argue against because like we have a ton of military bases, and like America does have this like incredibly unique position as like the world police, whether you like that or not. Like that's kind of like something that we've signed up for, so like that's usually what conservatives argue for, like the whole like freedom isn't free thing. Like we have this like unique responsibility as America to like protect everyone, and so that's why they need to allocate so much money to defense. And then the other thing about like paying so much for healthcare, they would just argue that like, well, America has the best healthcare. So I'm just saying, like, if you try to like, I know,
Well, I
and
would say,
we
what's the
hope that
metric
this
on
guy would
best
come
healthcare?
whatever suits their worldview.
Yeah, I guess.
Like I know that there's tons of statistics that say that like we have like really awful healthcare outcomes, but like this is just like the canned responses that these typical like these kind of people, and by that I mean the kind of people that leave comments like he did, that really
Yeah.
reveals his hand on like where he's at and like where he's willing to like grow.
And
If
what
he
was
was
the what
willing
was
to
the
like
first
listen,
argument that you said?
that like the reason that we spend so much on, we have to allocate so much of our tax money to defense is because America has filled this void of like the world police.
Right.
And like we have a really unique position, and a lot of them feel like freedom isn't free, and that's just like a small price that we pay for being like the greatest country on earth, and like making it so that everyone else in the world can live in like a first world society with all the benefits and things like that come. And this isn't like a perfect example of them, and I'm not saying that everyone's stupid enough to argue that like everywhere else is living it in third world or in first world amenities because of like what we do, but like I wouldn't be surprised if they believe, like there's some of them that believe that. And so, yeah, kind of like going back to what I was mentioning before, and like what we said about like, because these are all kind of like culture war issues, to a degree, a little bit, or at least they have kind of transformed into them over the like past couple years, and really, I think like you were kind of on the right track with just like the appeal of like because like I think that everyone is feels disenfranchised and feels unrepresented by our representatives, and we shouldn't be complacent with the fact that they tell us that they can't like work together. And I actually think that might be like a stronger argument, is like if you look at like past congressional administrations, a lot of them were they operated very bipartisanly, and not to say that like bipartisanism is like the greatest solution to everything, but I mean like politics is derived from compromise. It's not derived from like both sides just like being like, no, I'm going to take my toys and go home, and like you can't play with me. A lot of it is comprised of like, I'm listening to the things that you want, you listen to the things that I want, and then we find the middle ground where we can agree on things, and then we pass things based on that. But they don't do that at all, and people really fall into this trap of like putting up with that because they feel like it's like unpatriotic to like criticize people, and they feel like they really succumb to the like not voting is not a good idea like myth. This idea that like it's better to cast a vote for like people that you don't like than to like not cast a vote at all, to like make the parties like actually like put up candidates that like earn your vote. And that's kind of like the problem and why we have like such shitty candidates. Like it's actually a travesty that like Donald Trump can run our country and get like 60 million votes. I was thinking about this the other day. It's like I can even sympathize and empathize with the idea that like we need a non-politician in the White House, and that it would be good to get someone that is like an ex-businessman or something like that can come in with like a different eye for like how the government should be run. But to sink so low personally that you're willing to throw your vote behind Donald Trump, like there's a big difference between someone like Donald Trump and like Jeff Bezos, you know what I mean? And it's like when they threw their vote behind that guy, it's like look at like what you've become. Like you've gotten so desperate that like you don't even give like you don't even have a critical eye for like the people that you're willing to throw this like what they consider to be this like incredibly sanctimonious privilege of voting, and that all these people like that came before us like died so that we had the right to do this, but then they throw it behind someone as inept and incompetent for the position as Donald Trump. And I'm not even saying that based on the results that he put up as the president, which were terrible, but like you could just see that like him going into the office.
Into it.
Yeah. So
that is a good point. The kind of like sacrifices that people made so that we have the kind of government that we have.
Yeah, just
so you can elect a fucking clown.
Yeah, just so you can concede on like every moral and like ethical like battleground and fucking just throw your weight behind Donald Trump because got to vote for my Republicans or got to vote for my Democrat. I'm not saying the people that voted for Hillary are any better, but like this is the problem, is that like if people didn't vote, it would hold the parties accountable. Because like if people didn't vote, like one of the states that's supposed to be blue or is supposed to be red would flip and it would fuck the whole election up. And
I mean, that's kind of what happened. That's what happened in Pennsylvania.
But isn't Pennsylvania normally a battleground state anyways? I feel like Donald Trump just won the battleground states. And that's what made him like come out ahead. So I don't know if it was not like it wasn't anything like headline making like Texas went blue, which is what they were thinking was going to happen. So yeah, and I still feel like even if we got enough people to kind of think that way, we're still kind of like too far behind the 8 ball for it to start like making a really big difference. But like that would be like my advocacy, is like people need to like they think that like voting is this thing that you like have to do, and if you don't do it, you're patriotic, you're unpatriotic. And I would argue the opposite, that I think that just voting because you have the right, and voting for anybody regardless of who gets put up is unpatriotic, because you're not actually like electing people that are the best for your country in mind.
Yeah,
You know,
and in a
you're
way,
just,
you're not really participating in it. You're just giving like a false
yeah,
choice.
yeah, you're giving them this concession that they're banking on.
Yeah,
And that's why things have like, that's why the candidates have like decreased in, value.
inequality.
Yeah,
Yeah,
quality. Yeah, quality is the right word. Yeah, over time, because people are just willing to like concede. Yeah, it's like it's like I said, there's a huge difference between like almost any business person and Donald Trump. Like if that was really your goal, it's like, it's like you're trying to hire a clown for your kid's birthday party, and the only one that the agency puts up is
yeah,
Pennywise, and
homeless
you're like,
guy.
sure.
Anyways,
And you're like, yeah, I guess, like I have this money that I need,
yeah,
that I told my kid I'd spend, and it's like,
yeah,
yeah, maybe you should think about what's best for your kid rather than just because you have the money you got to spend it.
right.
Maybe he just doesn't get a clown that year.
Yeah.
Um, so
Yeah, so anyway, the door's open for your response, Backyard Bear. We appreciate your interaction with our video, and yeah, we'll hope to hear from you soon.
yeah, keep up the high quality content.
Yeah, we love the high quality comments, and we'll keep responding to them because we have fuck all else to talk
Unlimited
about.
time.
Yeah, so much time. And listen, I appreciate you doing like fish videos. It's not my thing, but that's cool, man.